Welcome to Self-Led Love with me, your host, Bahia Miller. Together, using the powerful framework of internal family systems, we will take on the spiritual and oh-so-human curriculum of becoming radically responsible for our parts and how they show up and grow up in intimate partnership. I'm so glad you're here. Let's dive in. Hi, friends. Welcome to episode 0 of Self-Led Love. I am so glad you're here. This is the very beginning of this little podcast baby being born to explore our parts and how they show up in our intimate partnerships. This is going to be an exploration of how we can meet our triggers with compassion, how we can take radical responsibility for our parts, and create love that is rooted in truth, in self-leadership, emotional intimacy, and safety. This work is incredibly important to me because connection is one of my core values. And for me, a big piece of connection is relationship. And my life has been improved drastically by the quality of my relationships over the course of my healing and personal development work. And to tell you a little bit about my backstory, I found internal family systems in 2014 on my own healing journey, not for fun. I wasn't doing this work, but because I really needed it. I was in my dating process at the time, and I had some really extreme protectors and exiles that were showing up in the process and making things difficult for me and other people. And so I was so fortunate that this modality really resonated with me and helped me start to build a truly deep foundation inside of self-awareness, self-love, and then combining that with some skills, communication skills, attunements, and the willingness to move through repair processes again and again. And these things have changed my life and my relationships. And as I was doing all of that healing work inside of myself, I was serving in the world as a yoga teacher and a massage therapist and a birth doula. And so all of these spaces to me kind of echo this theme of healing and embodiment and attunement inside the body and inside the spirit and mind. And so I had already begun kind of putting those pieces together, but IFS really just tied it all up in this bow that really helped me move forward in a beautiful way. And so after kind of doing a bunch of that work within myself, I ended up meeting my husband. And one might think, oh, you've done all this work healing yourself. Partnership's going to be a breeze. No, think again. Partnership, relationships are messy, right? If our partners are this mirror that reflects back to us the unhealed places within ourselves, that's a lot. And then I had this part of me that really thought that it was his fault that I was struggling in these ways and really wanted him to change. And I had to hear it many times over to really bring the focus back to myself and really how I could empower myself to show up in the relationship differently. I had to hear it again and again for years. And of course, now we've gotten to this place in our relationship where the same loops that we were stuck in for years, some of them have completely faded away. Some of them have transformed and grown and are less extreme. And there's new stuff that we get to work through, right? In parenthood, in our dreams and ambitions and all sorts of spaces. So I'm still very much in the trenches with you doing this work at the same time. And I feel so fortunate that I get to sit with individuals and couples and work with them as they get to kind of root themselves in these tools of radical responsibility and more compassion and living more from the heart and maybe a little less from the mind and the past. So this is a great honor that I get to walk with folks in this way. This podcast is going to be a combination of solo episodes with me, maybe 20 minutes long or so, and guest speakers about IFS and relationships. And so one more piece that I want to add here is that I am aware that I didn't make this stuff up. A lot of the stuff that I teach, that I use with my clients, IFS, right, was created and synthesized by Dr. Richard Schwartz. Intimacy from the Inside Out, Tony Herbine Blank. and my dear friend and mentor who trained me as a conscious relationship coach, Alma Castro. I stand on the shoulders of giants. Truly, we are so fortunate at this time on the planet to have books all day long, these books filled with information about our nervous systems and what it means to be in relationship consciously and healing and everything, right? I am just building upon what has been given to me, the ways that I have been poured into. And I am synthesizing this IFS and relationship work in a way that makes sense to me and hopefully serves you in a way that you can hear it and use it and apply it in your life. So I am just taking a moment to give gratitude and reverence for everyone who has poured into me, all my teachers and mentors. And I'm going to be carrying their support and encouragement with me on this podcasting journey. So thanks for tuning in and listening to episode 0. I'm so excited to see how this all unfolds. And if you'd like to listen to episode 1, I am going to be breaking down what exactly I mean by self-led love. I'll see you there.